Oh my goodness. What's going on, Gemini? This is your girl, Miss RHW, here with another love read for y'all. And yeah, you see what I got in my hand. It's a totally different oracle deck. We're finna do something different. So, here's what we're doing. We're going to be pulling from the I Ching Oracle. This is a deck that's going to require me to pull 2 different oracle cards. Now, these I Ching Oracle cards have lines on them. What I'm planning to do, which is a little different, along with our new spread that we're going to be doing today, is I'm going to be pulling one card from the I Ching just to get an essence of what the reading is. We're going to just read that. After we get through the main spread that we're going to be using, with the outcome, I'm going to pull the last oracle card, line up the lines on the cards to get the additional messages in between, and then figure out how that pairs with the reading as a whole. Okay, of course, Gemini, you gotta know my baby spiel, because this is YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey. I don't know, they got certain things going on, they're not quite babies, but YouTube is the baby. Okay, so I gotta baby proof these readings. Aside from let me just go ahead and get through this. This is the collective for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or anywhere that you have Gemini significant in your placements and your chart. Just be sure to look that up so you can know how this best applies to you. But of course, guys, if there's portions of the reading that do not resonate, that may be because there's certain aspects of different Geminis that are possibly looking for guidance in their own storyline. So just keep that in mind. There may, it may be highlighting other Gemini's life cycles. If you're more interested in what's going on with you, or looking for more of a tailored reading just for yourself and regarding your situation, there is information in the description box on how to book a reading. All right, so let's dive into this, y'all. What's going on with y'all love lives for Virgo season? Okay, let's see what's going on, what has been happening in your life so far with Virgo season, because this will be for the month of September, but it's an overview of your love life so far, because it started, Virgo season started August 22nd. So, ooh, what a beautiful card. Okay, straight away. Okay, High Priestess. Gemini. What we got going on here? All this earth energy, no swords. Interesting. Oh, there it is. No, that's a wand. Oh my god, wow. Okay, so somebody's getting attention or being noticed or putting themselves out there in the world and getting attention for the confidence that you're exuding. Some of y'all may not notice you are exuding any sort of confidence. You're probably just doing your thing, living day by day. And that living day by day with maybe with a more grateful sort of attitude is actually taking some sort of, I don't know, is garnering some attention. I see with the Six of Pentacles, which is your current situation, there's something to do with some sort of contribution of your environment. Maybe this is someone helping you out. Maybe you're helping someone else out. Maybe you're starting a new job and you're starting to see revenue flow. So you're starting to be able to buy things, treat yourself, do things that are kind of able to, start some sort of, I guess, give some ebb and flow with the situation. I love it. Six of Pentacles is usually as an exchange of give and take. It's not always about charity. I know lots of readers will see that the Six of Pentacles is a charity card, but I think that this isn't to say that there isn't a balanced, a fair agreement on exchanges of services and goods. So I feel like right now, either you're in a trade or you're in a situation where you're trading, and it's a fair one. It's a fair trade. It's nothing really strenuous. Your current situation is just about making sure that you're getting something back for what you're putting in, and other people are getting something back for what they're putting in. So and I think too, I think there may be something about figuring out how you begin and where other people, end. So nobody kind of crosses into that threshold of codependency. But, that's kind of just parsing that from there. Let me go ahead and read the essence of this I Ching card, because I'm about to go too far. And I know me. I can just dive right into the tarot, but the I Ching is a different story now. Ching's a little newer to the whole crew, so we're gonna get to seeing what this is about. 59. So disillusion. Dissolution here does not mean destruction, but rather a diminishing of alienation and egoistic feelings and motives. This is usually about ego and being noticed. But this is also the elimination or diminishing of alienation. So this is when people are noticing who you are and the kind of mess of things. Interesting. This sign promises a phase having a favorable effect upon relationships. This is the exchange between people and how you and them get along and all that other stuff. That's really cool. I have a window open, so all these little tiny flies are coming all over the place. So apologize, it's getting hot in here. So, all right. Anyway, unity is strengthened as burdensome feelings and experiences are now worked through your energy, and it's free for positive and constructive purposes. But everyone who is involved must make a contribution. Disappointment suffered may be forgotten at last, and a new state can be made. It is important to approach people in order to overcome inner isolation or permanent disagreement. It doesn't matter at all to continue. It doesn't help it at all to continue raising acknowledged mistakes. You ought to show goodwill now. Okay? Sorry. You ought to show goodwill now. This provides you with a genuine chance to break from the past and make a successful new start. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so you're really moving on, doing different things, trying to make the most out of what you've got, and I think it's honestly paying off. Your past situation and what's coming up here is the Ten of Cups. So this is possibly this is a family card. I don't know if you guys are leaning more so on family these days, or you're currently with your family. You're really wrapping a cycle up of the past, and you're kind of involving yourself in something new. You're trusting your intuition with it. You're not necessarily you're going somewhere, you just don't have an idea of where that is yet, but you're leaving it up to faith. You're kind of trusting your guts with things. You're kind of feeling it out, trying to figure out, work it through. You're just kind of just understanding the new you. You're kind of being very patient, giving space to the new you. And I like this. This is the placement where this placement refers to what can manifest from actions taken. And I really feel like the actions taken are influenced by what has been experienced in the past. So if you're completing a cycle, you're letting go of, old belief systems and attachments to, attached to old, unsuccessful love stories. That's gone too. You know what I mean? Whatever didn't work out then is just not applicable now, because you're realizing you're a new person, and you're giving yourself space to flesh out what kind of new person you are. And you may not be like a through and through new person, but there's things about you that maybe have applied in some point in the past, but you're noticing or have noticed in the as a recent, they don't really apply to you now. So you're giving yourself space. I like this, Gemini. You're giving yourself space to figure things out. You're not too decisive. You're just very open-minded. You're very open to it. You're very sensitive to your surroundings too, understanding and picking up signals from others, learning about how you are around other people and maybe what your triggers are, and and things like that. You're very abreast to the sensitivity of things right now. You're very, you're not pushing, you're not forcing things, which is good. How you change the challenges that are coming up, how to turn obstacles into stepping stones. Well, you just get through it. I mean, I think there's nothing obstructing you. There's nothing kind of distracting. There's nothing kind of like keeping you from doing things. There's nothing really keeping you from doing things. I think this is really about just tacking on the work, just getting things done and working through it. The Eight of Wands sometimes talks about messages, reaching out to somebody, communication of some sort. It could be through social media. But then, it's interesting to have that there because it's really not a challenge, it's not an obstacle. I mean, things can be overwhelming, but I think maybe just kind of, tempering, metering, your emotions. Just kind of being compassionate to yourself with the changes, not going too fast to overwhelm yourself and make you kind of resign too early to progress because you feel like things are just inundating you and you're not able to kind of get used to the newness yet. It's happening too fast. Like, just be careful about allowing things to go as fast as they are. I feel like things are still in your... That's a lot of cards in my hands. Ouch. Okay. I am having issues with my hands these days, guys. I do feel like, I just forgot my train of thought. I apologize. I'm dropping these cards. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Say whatever I was going to say. Gemini, to be frank, this is a very sensitive energy. So I feel like the best thing for this thing to do is to just feel out the situation. Don't force it. Don't do much of anything. Just allow yourself to just kind of work around this, work around it. Not work to ignore it or to work past it, but to work in coexistence to your sensibilities. If you're aware of something about this and it's a good idea to stay within your limits here as far as what you're willing and able to take in. Ironically, the High Priestess could take in a lot of information. She don't say much, though. I think it's probably what's weird. It's like right now, Gemini, maybe you're asked to not say so much, not do so much extra stuff, but maybe more be more observant, be more present, be more available, emotionally available, metaphysically available, physically available. No area should be ignored or left up to, like if you leave it, like, it should be, I mean, if you leave it up to interpretation, it's okay. I just think as long as you're not shutting down stuff or blocking stuff, I don't think you're in any problem, because this here is saying full speed ahead. Good things could be coming from this because things are, progressing. You shouldn't worry too much. Just make sure you're not doing too much. But what to let go of, though? This is the card of sacrifices. What to let go of so you can get the best out of these stepping stones, and it's to be the Queen of Pentacles. Sometimes when I see the Queen of Pentacles, is someone who's very anxious about her money. She owns her own business, or she does something for herself, or she works something that it could be in high demand, or she has a specific skill, or she's a manager and she's keeping up with a whole empire. It's Capricorn. So there's some areas in your life where you're required to you show up in your world and contribute in a way that brings some value. And I feel like some of you guys are maybe trying to figure out what you're special at, what you're good at, that you can monetize or you can put some value behind in some sort of fashion. The Queen of Pentacles also suggests that this is to do with your routine, to do with your health, possibly, and making sure that you're happy with your regimens. Sometimes the Queen of Pentacles could be perfectionist, so it could just be that, I don't think greedy is really the word I'm thinking, because, sometimes she can want the best, but it may not be what she needs. It could just be like, I want this, and that's what I'm going to be available to. She's more materialistic. She's more spiritual. She's not going to be thinking about physical shit at all. She don't even see physical stuff as a value. She doesn't see how earthly matters have anything to do with the bigger picture of things. So it's about what you are trying to accomplish by looking at the details of earthly matters that pull you away from what you're trying so desperately. And I feel like I say desperately because The high priestess is a call to acknowledge something, a deeper calling within the self, but it requires stillness and silence and patience to really hear that voice. And that voice is internal. That voice is spirit is only can only be heard by you. It's just why this is the second card after the Fool meets the Magician. It's to meditate and to acknowledge what your needs are. Are you hungry? Are you, all these things that you really wouldn't you wouldn't notice, or would just be ignoring because you would be in action. You're active. You're too busy. You're distracted. Your immediate needs may be overlooked because the world is interacting with you and you're interacting with it. This asks you to stay still, to contemplate, to be receptive, to be open, to be vulnerable. Because vulnerability is a strength, and believe it or not, how you use it is a strength. The only way it becomes a weakness is if you don't understand when to be vulnerable. You don't understand how to be vulnerable. You don't know how to do both of those things at the same time. So many different ways that vulnerable can be a weakness, but as its own thing, it's not. It's not weak. Any misuse, using strength wrong is a weakness. Strength, it can be a weakness all the time. If you don't know how to apply it properly, if you don't know how to adjust your body or adjust yourself and your mindset to be able to handle that shit, anything you can do, anything you have can become a weakness. So vulnerability needs to be on your strong suit. It needs to be strengthened for you in a good way, and not exploited and taken advantage of and manipulated, because again, you're getting something out of something. I don't think you should just settle and be okay with the bare minimum. And I feel like that's what you're realizing too. You're not really allowing yourself to just accept the bare minimum anymore. 10 of Cups is like, yeah, those days are over. I'm going to just play by ear, but what works best for me, what feels right, what feels like it's supposed to be. This is why this is in, your actions is about only doing what you feel most led to do, and not really letting yourself be adjustable. This isn't saying be rigid, but I'm saying, overwhelming yourself and letting your vulnerability take advantage of you isn't the message of this card. It's to be sensitive to your environment, be sensitive to yourself, to navigate through the very increasingly intense and fast-paced environment you're about to step into or currently involved in. Don't be so resistant to what's to come, because it will cause blockages. Whatever mental stuff is in your way, it needs time now to have it be the main focus, to be cleared. So whatever comes your way, whatever message comes to you, you can apply it with really good eyes, really good expertise, really good head on your shoulders about it. Very little anxiety. The thing is with the High Priestess, like Queen of Pentacles, is that she can be very anxious. Her feelings are regulated only to a certain extent. Feeling is not just a thing that you do with your hands. It's sometimes internal and done with your senses, and that's not always something that's detectable. Like people can't always sense that you're doing or feeling something, especially when you're feeling something internal. So it's just be, kind of stepping out of the whole, what is the physical results of things? What are the legit, stop looking for physical validation. I think that the whole point of this sort of you becoming more confident in yourself is because you're allowing yourself to separate what's important to you from what you have to show that something is important to you. I just think that's something to do with the physical, or something to do with reality, something to do with evidence, something to do with practical. That doesn't necessarily play a role right now. Something to do with passion, something to do with motivation, inspiration. All those abstract feeling things are more important right now than your bank account, than whether or not you have property, things like that. Do you have evidence for it? It's like, I don't have to have evidence to know I'm good at something or to know I like it. If I like it, I'm doing it. What's the issue? And if I don't know something, I'm going to learn. I'm not going to shut down information. The high priestess is shut down information. She receives all information. She doesn't block it up. But she doesn't I don't believe the high priestess would overwhelm herself. Because then she won't be able to be open like she's known to be. She knows her capacity, she knows her limits, but she also is, she is open. So I just feel like, yeah. There's an interesting balancing act that needs to be done. Not overdoing it. Because these are pretty extreme ends of things, you know? Non-movement, passive, open communication, limited focus, but unlimited possibilities, unlimited capacities to be open, limited possibilities to receive things, because there's no resistance to anything. Having faith in the unknown, allowing the unknown to kind of be your guiding something subconscious to things moving quickly, kind of letting things kind of run its course, going with the flow. This is movement for sure. You know, you're not getting out of the movement. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles, earthly matters, material things, goals, physical touch. Like this, she ain't got nothing to do with no physical touch now. What is the real obstacle? Wait, what is the real obstacle of the Eight of Wands that Gemini is having to deal with? That's what I want to know. Two of Pentacles. Uh-oh. Now that came up. Let's see. Oh, my cards are upside down. Right? Okay, there's one card that's not. It should be. There's another card that's not. It should be upside down. How I hold the deck is so I can flip it upright. So if I find cards that are not the way that they're supposed to be. Yeah. And there's a lot of cards in this deck in my clarifying deck that are reversed all of a sudden, which is weird. Well, just so far, those three as culprits. But so far, everything in my card deck that I'm checking is reversed. So upside down, like I said, that's how I'm holding it. Except for this card here. All right, but anyway, but that's interesting. The Two of Pentacles for the Eight of. So that's what the obstacle is. It's kind of just, what do you feel most led to commit to? Maybe it's not about committing. You're trying to commit to something too quickly before it's giving you enough information to feel comfortable with whatever you're deciding. So it makes sense. Maybe you shouldn't be worried about whether or not this is the one. You should just be open to trying it out, seeing how you feel, if it works for you, and if it doesn't, then be willing to adjust your plans. It's about being flexible and not being so rigid in your environment rigid in your thinking, like everything has to play out a certain way. If you kind of do that, you incidentally lock yourself into a certain thing, and you may feel obligated to follow the initial path you set forth, because seeming inconsistent will make you feel inconsistent, and then you feel like you're just not a very, careful, prepared person. It could perpetuate anxieties, and it's not necessary. You're going through a period of revamping. You're starting something new. You got two cards here that are very beginning stories, and a card that's significant ending. Of a significant ending. It should suggest your two right now, like, you may have mastered some things, you have some skills that you can apply, but you're not limited. You still have the capacity to learn and receive information. Just be open to doing that. But be willing to be sensitive enough, or also, specific enough to tailor and niche down what you like and get it to being exactly how you like it to be. With the wands here, I feel like this is really an opportunity to be creative about your career path. This may not be a career path in which you need to learn anything from anybody else, because this is probably something that you end up creating for you. You are your own person, and you created a job from a need that you saw, and you were able to fill because you like filling it. And it probably isn't something that's like regularly known or out there, done like you. This is something that that you stand out and you stick out like a sore thumb, and people are like, wow, oh my goodness, who, how interesting, I never thought about it. Oh, you know what, I've been looking for something like that, but I couldn't figure out what I couldn't really figure out how to describe the issue that I was having to see if I could even find a problem that would be this articulate. You don't know that you may know something that could help somebody, and all you need to do was be your authentic self, and it was already in your toolkit. It was already something you were really good at, and you just needed to pair it with other things to get that thing going or whatever. I don't really see the necessarily like learning stuff straight up, right? This is just someone who's open and receptive to information. She's not going to shoot it down, even if she's being patronized to. She's just going to shake her head and be like, all right. You don't know whether or not she, up or down, but best believe she sat there and took it. She didn't push back and say, nah. She just took what necessary, and if, whatever was necessary, it wasn't necessary, it is what it is. Wherever it lands, wherever it ends up, it's just how it was meant to be. Sometimes it's not in your memory. That doesn't mean it wasn't supposed to, this was supposed to stick. That's nothing. I don't see anything about taking notes aside from her, and this is in your sacrifice energy, so. But you're making a decision, man, or you're trying to make a decision on something to commit to, and I'm thinking, something needs to kind of marinate a little bit more. Something needs more time. Something needs to go through the process a bit more before a decision can be made, or you feel secure, feel good enough about committing to a particular path. So fuck it. I say don't even let yourself get all tied down. Don't try to commit too soon. What is the Queen? What about the Queen of Pentacles is meant to be surrendered here for Gemini? Oh my God. You see the wands. The Eight of Wands again. I feel like this is confirmation for what we just were saying with this. This is literally just suggesting confirmation. This is confirmation of what I just said. I really would just probably take it easy. Don't worry about trying to figure out whatever it is right now. You don't need to look official. You are already official. You don't need to be official. You don't have to have an official title to be an official expert. You know what I mean? Or to be an expert in something. You don't need to do that. I apologize. My window is open and I got these small little bugs. So I apologize. Bro, oh my God, Hangman. It's all about mindset. It's all about how you receiving stuff and just taking it all in. I just don't think you need to worry about being an aficionado yet. There's nothing not official about you. Six of Wands coming through. You somebody that definitely is deserving the attention they're getting. You definitely are deserving the confidence that you have. You are the Dawn Data, as a wonderful friend of mine introduced me to the term of, years ago. You are the Dawn Data, bro, but you just got to give yourself a minute to really settle on what you really want to do, and if it's in alignment with what you want to commit to and stay with long term. Commitment is a big thing. When you're into it, but you don't want to force yourself into it. You don't want to stick. You don't want to obligate yourself to it either. You don't want to be like, oh, well, I picked it, so I need to stick with it. No. Don't do that to yourself. Just do one thing at a time. And then I think it's not a thing bad to review. Nothing wrong with reviewing. Yeah, 2 cards come out, so I had to pick the one on the top. All right, and 20 was it, I guess. 20 was it. All right. So, the lines that don't match. So, you see these lines here? It's another line here. These pair of lines here, 6 of them. So, I got to figure out which ones are not the same and read that message, okay? So, let's see what we got here. Okay, line 1 is the same. Line 2 is different. 4 and 5 are the same. 6, 7. So it's literally just one message. So it's message 2, line 2. You run the danger of being isolated if your plan is beset by difficulties. You will then find no inner peace. Exercise patience and tolerance instead of always wanting everything at once. In this way, You avoid grief and worry. Damn. All right. And then let's see what 20 has to tell us. Your outcome. How is that pairs with the 8 of Wands there? Okay, observation. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy, bro. This is literally what I just said, be observant. I said that, right? I said just, keep a watchful eye, be open. This sign has a double meaning. On one hand, it signifies that you are observing something closely. On the other, it means that you yourself are being observed. Standing in the spotlight. This is literally somebody, like I told you, this is such a crazy deck. This is why I chose it. By observing cosmic laws, a knowledge is gained which affects everyday life right down to the finest detail. These laws grant great power to the one who understands and knows how to use them. Such a person possesses true leadership qualities, which is why I felt like this is you owning your own business and you not really working under nobody. This is you really taking what you already know, implying that, seeing a need, feel a needing, and end up being the star person that you are. Such a person possessing true leadership qualities by using intuition, the high priestess, which is what she really is, intuition, and sensitivity. She's extensively sensitive and gentle instead of force. Oh my God, this is the wow. Let me just read it. Use this valuable time to check out new ideas and alter those which have become outdated. Trust is created by your efforts to do justice to people in relationships and through trying to understand them in their perspective contexts. Yeah. Dogmatic, open-minded. Your open attitude will create union and harmony in personal relationships. The 6 of Pentacles. Harmony, contribution to your society. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. That's so wild. All right. I can't believe that message is that clear, but Gemini, I'm gonna let you go with this, all right? Love you, Gemmies. Love you. And until next time, I'll see y'all on the other side.